Hey guys, welcome into today's video. This is going to be a brand new series on my channel. It's going to be a foundation a day for 42 days. The reason that I wanted to start this video is that I have 51 foundations in my permanent collection. It's the number 2 item, maybe number 1 right now, of makeup that I really like testing. I'm really into testing new foundations. It switches back and forth usually between blush, eyeshadow, and foundation, my 3 favorite makeup categories, probably a lot of people's favorite makeup categories. But 51 foundations is just too much for me to have in my collection. I recently did a makeup declutter, and I will link that up in the cards, where I went through my whole collection and I decluttered, breaking some of my makeup into 3 different categories: keep, declutter, and then I made up a third, which was items that I want to keep for reference, but I'm going to take out of my permanent collection and move into the closet where I keep makeup that I think is popular, relevant, things that I may want to reference in future videos, but that I don't want to use in my personal everyday life. But I did not do that with foundation. And recently I've gone through a really big skin change. In the last 8 months to a year, I have gone from really, really dry skin to very, very oily skin, and a lot of foundations that used to work for me that were more on the dewy, natural finish side just aren't working these days. So I'm grabbing and loving more matte foundations. So some of my foundations in my collection predate my skin change. So the reason for this series, I don't want to just declutter foundations based on memory. I want to retest a lot of them because some of them are pretty expensive. Some of them I may re-love, some of them I may not like or may not work for me now, and it's time to make that determination. So while I have 51 foundations in my collection, this is foundation a day for 42 days because there are 9 foundations I have already made a decision on. Some of them I'm actually testing. They haven't gone into speed reviews, but I've worn them very recently, so I know exactly how I feel about them, but I will have to move them into wherever they're going to go, keep, declutter, or in the reference pile. And then there are some that I'm testing that I already absolutely love, haven't gone into a speed reviews, and I know that I'm going to be keeping them. And then 2 of them I have already made the decision that I'm going to declutter. Welcome to day 26, you guys. I feel like I'm cooking along. I will have all my foundations in my collection tested by the end of January. On today's docket is the W7 Genius Feather Light foundation. So you guys might think this one is a little bit of a weird one, but I absolutely love this foundation. I haven't tried any other complexion product from W7, but this one is amazing. I have a little friend here, so we're gonna have to ignore that. There are some W7 products that I have tried that I really, really like. I think this one has to be my favorite. Now, W7 is a brand out of the UK. They do have a website where you can purchase items and have them shipped, but also they sell on Amazon, and I think that's where I picked this up. I did also find them for the first time in my local CVS, so I do know there are certain CVS's that carry W7. It's just a very small display. I thought it was kind of interesting that my CVS had it when they almost never have new releases, but they can carry W7. So anyway, I thought that was cool. I bought this foundation to test it against another one. I think it was the Catrice HD, because this brand is known for duping other brands. They dupe a lot of palettes, they dupe mascaras, they dupe a lot of different things, but then it seems like they do have some makeup items that are very unique to their line. So I got this thinking I would test it in a dupes video against the Catrice. It's absolutely a totally different formula foundation. I didn't know what else it could be duping because the packaging is just so similar, but I found out that I absolutely love this foundation. I think it's extremely underrated, and the reason that I picked this one today is because me and my family are going out today, and I wanted something that I know to be lighter weight but longer lasting. So let's get into talking about this one. So it's called the Genius Featherlight Foundation. It appears to only come in 5 shades on the W7 website. I have mine in the shade Sand Beige. This does retail on the W7 website for $8.79, but I don't know what it retails for on Amazon or at certain CVS's. It's supposed to be a water-based, super light foundation that dries down to a powder finish. It gives you light to medium coverage with a matte finish. It has 1.05 fluid ounces. It's made in China, and it has a 12-month shelf life. The only one that I have that's like this, that's kind of a similar consistency, is the Laura Mercier Flawless something something foundation. I will throw up a picture here. They have a similar consistency in that they feel like weightless on the skin, weightless on a swatch. You can't even tell they're there, but they provide good coverage. They're almost warm when you're swatching them and you put them on your skin. And this one is the only one that I know of to dry down to a powder finish. At least the only one that I've tried that dries down to a powder finish. You guys, it's basically like air. It doesn't feel like anything. As you can see, it's just a dropper type foundation. So I'm gonna pour some on the back of my hand. I can't really show you because it'll just fall over, but it's literally like water. When I'm doing videos where I am taking off my foundation and putting it back on again for like blush try-ons or anything base product try-on, this is the foundation that I'll use because it's super easy to come off and it's super easy to go back on. All right, let's bounce it in with a clean dry sponge on the left side. Not dry sponge, dampened sponge on the left side.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one
like, doesn't that look just natural? It is so silky soft on the skin. It's one of the easiest products to blend in. It's the easiest foundation I have to blend in, that's for sure. And that's why I use it for videos where I'm taking foundation off and putting it back on again. It just kind of evens out my skin tone. Looks like skin, doesn't look like I'm wearing anything. Do you guys see how watery this formula is? But like the coverage that it offers is actually pretty darn good.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to.
I have never known this foundation to look cakey or overdone. I've never overdone it with this foundation. I think it is buildable without looking dry or cakey. Honestly, I don't know what it's formulated with. I was looking at the ingredients, but I wouldn't know these names to know why it feels warm to the touch, unless it's the oxides in here and just a ton of water. I mean, I can't tell what the ingredient list is. There are some things in there I don't recognize. Some things that I do, dimethicone, which is a hydrating property, and it doesn't even look like, you know, water is the first ingredient, so I don't know. Anyway, I feel like my complexion just looks flawless. It is this gorgeous powder finish. Honestly, just kind of evens out my skin tone. Because it's a powder finish, I feel like it is more of a mattifying foundation, even though I can kind of see a little bit of radiance like on my cheeks, on the high points. I did test this foundation for the first time when I had drier skin and I loved it. I could not get away with matte foundations when I had dry skin. It usually had to be something dewy or more hydrating. But this was one of those that I felt like did a really good job on my dry skin. So let me finish up the rest of my complexion because this red thing on my nose is absolutely driving me nuts. And then we'll come back and we'll do one final check-in. This is one of those products that when you lay stuff on top of it, it doesn't look heavy, even in real life. Sometimes I come back and doing these wear tests and my complexion looks fine on camera, but it does feel a little bit heavy. It does look a little bit heavy. Up close, this looks so great with other products laid on top of it. The fact that this has dimethicone in it, which is a hydrating property, you're supposed to lock in moisture on your skin, I think really helps when making something with a powder finish. The one from Laura Mercier, that's the Flawless Weightless Foundation, also has dimethicone in it. I don't know how many other foundations have dimethicone because I don't pay that much attention to the ingredient list, like past the first couple of ingredients or some of the ones that are like key call out ingredients. I can just say that this doesn't feel like anything on my skin. It also doesn't feel drying. Now we're gonna go about my day and my wear test. I'm gonna go show you a natural light check-in. I'll do one at 4 hours and then we will come back at the end of the night to see how the foundation is holding up. And then ultimately the goal is to decide whether or not this stays or it goes. Of the 42 foundations I am retesting from my collection, I will see you guys back here at the end of the night. Welcome back, you guys. It's been, I want to say it's been like 10.5 hours. It might be a little bit longer than that. So this was a longer day wear test. I am so shocked. I'm really shocked. I'm going to jump right into showing you guys what it looked like in natural light. It looked fine. I did tell you guys we were going out today. So I did go to my family to a theme park kind of place, but it was only 70 degrees out, so I wasn't sweating or anything. We also went into this like igloo Arctic thing where it had to be about 30 degrees and basically blowing cold air on us. So a more long-lasting mattifying foundation would have been fine under those conditions, at least I think. But my foundation, before we even left and we had only been there like a couple of hours, really started to come off, especially on my nose. It basically just started fading everywhere. I remember this being a much longer lasting foundation, and I did even set my face with powder, a powder that I use all the time. So I'm actually a little bit surprised this did not last on me as long as I remember it lasting. But I also think now, having tested this again on oily skin, this is probably something that lasts better on someone with dry skin. I also think it's nice for dry skin. I told you guys that earlier. I'm gonna have to say, like, because this wore off so fast on me, I just can't see myself reaching for this if it stays in my collection. As beautiful as I think it is, And honestly, I feel like that's why I want to do these wear tests. I'm so shocked at the decisions that I make every single time I flip-flop. It's wild. It's wild. So the W7 Genius Featherlight Foundation, we're going to declutter it. I'm not going to hold on to this. I just will not reach for it knowing it lasted like 3 hours on my skin. So that's a full declutter. The new tally, you guys, is I have now decluttered 14 and I have only kept 12. So I feel really good about that because I was looking at my stack over here going, oh no, the rest of these I love and I'm going to end up making a decision to keep them and I'm not going to cut my collection in half. It's not to say that I'm not going to test new foundation releases as they come out in 2024 because I probably will. But I know now how to do a full day's wear test and really what I'm looking for so that I know which ones I want to keep and which ones I don't. I don't mind testing new things, but if they're not going to work for me, I'm not going to collect them for, you know, collection's sake. So anyway, this is proof that we need to give love to every single one of our foundations so we remember how they wear and don't hold on to them if you don't like them because otherwise they're just going to collect dust. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope you stick around for days 27 through 42 of foundation. Are we at 27? Yes, 27 through 42 of foundation a day. I am out of here, you guys, and I hope to catch y'all in the next one. Bye.